It is already late October. Have you found your favorite anime of this fall yet? It is always true to say that the first episode of an anime defines how good the series can be. So let's have a little review of the first episode of this season's top anime, and perhaps you'll be surprised on how much you've missed. This year's fall season is really in its tip-top shape, offering not only exciting new original series, but also sequels to many global anime hits including Sword Art Online Alicization, War of the Underworld. Though it is the second part of the Alicization arc, as expected, things are different from the first half. Kirito is no longer the focal character of the anime, and the duty falls on Alice. How their relationship develops is also a highlight of this show. We Never Learn Part 2, an adaptation of Weekly Shonen Jump's popular romantic comedy series. This series has been gaining popularity for its humorous school life story. Grand Blue Fantasy the Animation Season 2. The return of voice actor Keiji Fujiwara as Eugen brings back the original flavors of the smartphone RPG. Food Wars Season 4. I guess many fans are still shocked on how the manga ended so suddenly. New Cooking Master Boy. The classic cooking manga returns to the TV screen after 21 years. Though it is rare to see two cooking manga in one season, their styles are so different that hopefully it will attract a different crowd. But okay, enough for the prologue. Let's get back to the main subject. Here is the top 10 anime that you cannot miss this fall. It has been a year since the previous season, and before throwing us into the main story arc of Season 4, an original episode is presented at the first week for fans to reconnect with their favorite characters from UA Class 1A. A little surprise is also prepared drawing reference from its first anime movie, My Hero Academia 2 Heroes. The season will focus on the Shie Hasaikai arc, and UA's second semester has finally begun. Some freshmen are preparing to apply for internships. Our protagonist, Midoriya, attempts to land a position at Sir Night-Eye's office, which is headed by the former sidekick of All Might. Meanwhile, a multi-office investigation involving Sir Night-Eye eventually leads to the hunt of a former Yakuza member and a mysterious young girl. This is one of my favorite arcs, and I can't wait to see how it is adapted into the anime. The appearance of this super powerful villain, Overhaul, really spices up the story. It is probably the first time for Midoriya to face such a mature and sophisticated villain who's already had his plan ready from the get-go. The fast and intense battle is undoubtedly a must-see, while the past of Overhaul is also a highlight. Another key franchise making a huge comeback is the Seven Deadly Sins. Fans can definitely expect some changes, as Studio Dean has become the primary animator, replacing A1 Pictures who had worked on the previous two seasons. This first episode is all about getting viewers back into the Seven Deadly Sins universe. People are still under the fear with demons roaming around the world. While Meliodas and the others are trying to find the following members of the Ten Commandments, King and Diane are still off on their own at the King's Forest. We can only pray that the day when Seven Deadly Sins gather again. Speaking of changes, you will find some mysterious censorship in the first episode, which turned much of the blood in the series from red to white. There's also black spots covering more of the gruesome scenes, but there's no clue as to whether the censorship is a result of the new production studio, or an edit to the original broadcast on TV Tokyo. Anyway, the battle scene still looks pretty good. I guess you must just need some time to get used to these changes. Chihaya Fudo is one of those anime fans always wanted to make a comeback, but were never sure of. And after 6 years, the third season of Chihaya Fudo finally returns. The shoujo manga series became a favorite with many viewers, thanks to its complicated characters and gorgeous art. The hot-blooded competitions also give you the thrill. The new season follows the story after Chihaya's Karuta Club wins the National Karuta Championship Tournament, and the appearance of new rivals will put even greater challenges on Chihaya. Fans are certainly expecting to see some progress on the love triangle between the characters, and let's hope that we won't be disappointed this season. One of the major debuts landing this fall is undoubtedly the new FGO series. Produced by Cloverworks, the anime is an adaptation of the Babylonia chapter from Aniplex's smartphone RPG, Fate Grand Order. As it is one of the most popular chapters in the game, the expectation runs extremely high for this anime adaptation. Unfortunately, you may have to be familiar with the Fate Grand Order mobile game in order to make sense of its story. The first episode is meant for established game players and does nothing to make itself accessible to newcomers. Still, even though if it is targeted specifically at game players, choosing to jump ahead to adapting the 7th and final chapter without previously doing any of the earlier content is too abrupt in my opinion. Anyway, if you are a Fate fan, the action-packed battle scenes never disappoint, especially when some of the most popular characters from the franchise show their pretty faces on screen. I don't think any fans could resist this. This season also draws eyeballs with several anime adaptation of mangas. Adapted from an award-winning manga series, BEASTARS is definitely a must-watch. The series takes place in a world of civilized anthropomorphic animals with a cultural segregation between carnivores and herbivores. While the setting is special enough to draw you to it, the series further enthralls you starting off with a grisly murder of a young herbivore, allegedly by one of his carnivore classmates. Now every carnivore is made to feel like a potential killer, and the tensions are running high. The animations of BEASTARS is produced by Studio Orange, the same studio that produced Land of the Lustrous, a well-acclaimed fantasy work based on 3D animation. Though not everyone is a fan of 3D animations, some may even worry that this decision will jeopardize the original's dense, detailed art style. The 3D animation successfully makes the animal more vivid and lively, giving depth to the anthropomorphic society. The first episode of Bstar already provides some impressive scenes, including the one where our wolf protagonist fails to resist his natural instinct and attacks Haru, the rabbit. The scene is depicted in great tension, and on the contrary, the monologue of Haru creates a sense of melancholy to the atmosphere. Another interesting anime adaptation is No Gun's Life. Adapted from a sci-fi action manga, the story is set in a world where a new type of people, known as Extends, appear in the society. The bodies of the Extends were modified into dangerous weapons, making crime run high in the city. Throughout the series, you will see people with robotic eyes who are able to see long distances, or people who are pretty much just robots. But the most striking of all is our protagonist, who has a revolver for a head. He works as a processor and deals with issues related to Extends. The first episode is pretty much an introduction to the universe, and it is not difficult to get into the 2000s era mashup of noir and cyberpunk ambience. The episode shines strongest in the moments when Juzo, our protagonist, begins to bond with the runaway he ended up protecting. This runaway incident has hidden a huge secret, and you better be ready for the upcoming thrilling battle scenes. For those who are looking for something to lighten the mood, Africa's Salaryman should definitely be on your list. Originally a comedy manga by Gum on Pixiv, the series follows the fun and humorous story of a lion, a toucan, and a lizard as they live the lives of office workers in a capitalist society in Japan, whilst also dealing with their unique situations as animals living beyond the savannah and the food chain. The settings of the animals are super fun. We have a lion who is a family man that looks much more intimidating than he intends. The toucan, who is a single guy who's always causing trouble, and the handsome lizard, who is the unfortunate victim of the toucan's schemes, and often ends up losing his tail. Each episode is made up of a number of short, crazy stories, and you better prepare yourself for some great laughs. Anime adaptations for light novels is all the rage in recent years, but it is never easy to stand out from the crowd. If you are like me, who is grumbling at the thought of another isekai show polluting the season, you will be happy to find that the hero is overpowered but overly cautious stands out this time around. For those who are unfamiliar with the series, it is an adaptation of the novel of the same name. It tells the story of a rookie goddess who summons a hero to help save the world. She ends up summoning Seiya, a perfect candidate who has cheat level stats. His power makes the goddess believe that defeating the demon lord that threatens the world will be a piece of cake. But the problem is that he is way too cautious to make any real progress. He spends too much time and money on equipments, grinding levels, and uses the strongest attacks even on the weakest enemies. The first episode is incredibly fun. Like most isekai protagonists, the main character is ridiculously strong and good looking. Still, the cautious nature of the character makes the show embrace its comedic elements. But the real star here is the goddess. From her first moments running away from the gacha ceremony, screaming about the task in front of her, she lights up every moment on screen. Her exaggerated facial expressions are extremely entertaining, and it really brings home the punchlines. If you're looking for something more serious, Babylon may be your cup of tea. Based on the mysterious novel series of Mado Nozaki, this story follows Zen Seisaki from the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office as he investigates a scandal involving a pharmaceutical company. The novel is highly rated, and critics have described it as a poison that enters your body when you read it. But it is perfectly normal to have hesitations towards the anime, when it is created by the same author of Kado, The Right Answer, a disastrous original series that I don't think anyone could ever forget. I too started the anime with complex feelings, and was surprised to find that it is indeed not bad. The first 3 episodes starts with an investigation into a pharmaceutical company for bribing research labs into providing false evidence to get their medicine approved. Thanks to the anime's realistic approach, which gives the case an atmosphere of authenticity, you are easily dragged into the dark world. It may sound a little dull, but when Zen gets deeper into the case, conspiracies surrounding suspicious deaths and political manipulations further enrich the plot. The rapid progression keeps the show interesting, and leaves viewers on the edge of their seats, wondering what might happen next. Babylon right now feels worth recommending, with the first 3 episodes. Let's hope that it won't get into the same train wreck situation as Kado. For the original anime series, we also have some interesting selections here. Among them, Stars Align really blows me away. At first, it seems to be a pretty standard sports story. The underdog team of kids who just want to have fun playing soft tennis together. Then one special kid suddenly appears and makes them actually competitive. But wait, there's more. One of the protagonists, Maki, have some serious family issues, and we get to see his different facets with strong and intricate storytelling. Maki has talents on tennis, but he is not willing to join the team because his mother works long hours at a low-paying job. Clubs take up a lot of 2 things, money and time. 2 things that the son of a working mother, who has to take care of all the chores and errands, simply doesn't have. Things get worse as Maki's father forces his way into the apartment he shares with his mother, beats him up brutally, and steals the money Maki has hidden away. The shocking scene is depicted like a normal incident in daily life, making it even more painful to watch. The agonizing scene successfully differentiates this series from the rest of the series in this season. For sure, the credit goes to the director, Kazuki Akane, known for directing the anime film Code Geass, Akito the Exiled. The other boys on the team also seem to have their own problems, so you better prepare yourself for more emotional scenes. These are my top 10 anime that you can't miss this fall. And of course, there are other interesting productions that is worth shedding spotlight on, such as Kabukicho Sherlock, a 24-episode original anime by Production IG, which transplants Sherlock Holmes to the entertainment district of Kabukicho. Though the first episode is nothing more than just an introduction to the world setting, the fast tempo and vivid characters leave quite an impression. More compelling scenes are expected when the Jack the Ripper murder case moves to its climax. We are still waiting for the premiere of Psycho Pass 3, but based on its previous 2 seasons, it's definitely a hit. For hot-blooded basketball fans, Ahiru no Sora should be on your radar. I'm already becoming a fan of those lovable gang of misunderstood delinquents. And if you need something else to lighten the mood, Are You Really the Only One Who Likes Me?, After School Dice Club, Rise Up Animal Road, and Young Disease Outburst Boy is actually not bad. So that's a wrap for the list of top 10 anime that you can't miss this fall. I hope all of you can find the anime that you like. Remember to follow QooApp for the latest anime and anime game news,